online safety part 1, where, as Jim said, we're going to address a lot of current scams. Hopefully, oops, pop back into the screen. Sorry. What have I done wrong here, Jim?
I don't know, Lee. What have you done wrong? Share your screen again. I think you might have lost the share.
There we are.
There we go.
Okay.
Yep, you're good to go.
Sorry again. Program's not advanced.
I can see your screen sharing. I think everyone can, and we can hear you clearly.
My slides aren't advancing. Okay, I have to use the mouse wheel. Okay, today we're going to look at a number of current scams, how to recognise a scam, and hopefully avoid being a victim of cyber criminals. We'll also look at how to get early warning of emerging scams and how to report any scams with which you may come into contact. Firstly, let's look at the extent of the risk. So Australians have lost 139 million to scammers in the first half of 2021, according to the ACCC. More than 31 million was swindled in June alone, the highest amount per month so far this year. I'm having trouble with things that keep popping up on my screen. One of the fastest growing areas of cybercrime is corporate ransomware attack. Although it's unlikely that it will affect us directly, it's become quite a problem for a number of the country's larger companies. For instance, Toll Holdings, BlueScope Steel, Lion Dairy and Drinks, and Nine Entertainment have all been victims of this type of scam. It's been costing Australia's corporations $3.5 million a year, according to Karen Andrews, the Home Affairs Minister. So if you don't take anything else away from this presentation today, you're strongly encouraged to subscribe to Scam Alert emails. Now, I'll talk more about this at the end of the presentation. But what you do is you sign up to receive radar alert emails on the latest scams directly to your inbox. And you can always unsubscribe at any time if you want to stop getting these emails. It's run by the ACCC, and they'll provide information to consumers about how to recognise, avoid and report scams. Investment scams account for the majority of cash loss at 70.5 million, followed by dating and romance at 23.2 million. All up, Australians have reported 124,000 scams just this year. Now, I'll have a look at the different ways in which scams are delivered and the different types of scams. You'll see from the screen at the moment the predominance of investment scams, followed by dating and romance, and so on. They're the 10 scams by the amount lost to each type of scam. Having a look now at the types of scams that are reported, by a long shot, the greatest amount of reports is by a type of scamming called phishing, and we'll look at that a little bit more shortly. Then followed by phishing is threats to life, arrest, false billing, identity theft, and so on. Journalist and author Peter Fitzsimons recently reported that he had received a phone call from the National Crime Authority advising him that he had observed unusual activity on his bank account, but felt sure it could be sorted out if he would give them his bank details. So let's have a look now at how these scams are delivered. By a long way, they're delivered by telephone, followed by internet, email, social networking, and so on. Now, this is particularly useful to know And this is the age groups which are involved in scams. If you look to the far right of the screen, you'll see the over 65, which I think probably applies to most of us, if not all. And whilst the reports are fairly high, the amount of money lost is quite alarmingly high. Now, these people got up one morning and switched their computer on, and this is what their faces looked like when they saw that their bank account was empty. I've included this story. This whole presentation will go up on AvPal's website as of this afternoon, most likely. And you'll see that there's a link there at the bottom right-hand corner that you can click on to read the story about this man. Tony lost $200,000 in an Australian bond investment scam, but amazingly, an Australian bank came to the rescue and managed to save Tony. You can see the terrible look on Tony's face in the screen at finding out that he'd lost $200,000. So last year, Australians were conned out of 175.7 million, and there were 216 and 84 scams were reported. A clear trend that's emerged over the years is that investment scams are disproportionately impacting Australians at the cost of more than 70 million. As we saw earlier on, people over 60 or 65 and over continue to be the most victimised age group. Be alert to the fact that scams exist when dealing with uninvited contacts from people or businesses, whether it's over the phone, by text, email, or in person, or on a social networking site. Always consider the possibility that an approach may be a scam. Remember, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. So let's now turn to some current scams. First of all, the MyGov impersonation scam. Now, this comes by email and purports to be from the Australian Tax Office or Services Australia, warning you about an email impersonation scam and asking you to click on what they call a secure form, which takes the person to a fake MyGov page requesting personal identification and banking details. The email tells you that MyGov and the government needs to verify your identity. It says you need to do this because of government rules. Now, these sorts of things, the scammers look at different times of the year and different things, and this has obviously come out because it's tax time. But I'm really alarmed at the number of people who don't submit a tax return who still fall for these things. It's just amazing. So continuing on with that same type of scam, the ATO and MyGov does send emails, and they do send SMS messages. However, they will never send you an email or SMS with a hyperlink directing you to log into a page for online services. Any communication containing your personal information, such as your tax file number, will be sent to your MyGov inbox and not to your email. This makes the email look real, but it's fake. Don't click on any links or reply to the email. Now, that's what the screens look like. The next one is vaccination scams. Scamwatch is aware of scams relating to COVID-19 vaccines. They can include requesting payments for vaccines or for early access to vaccines, offers to mail vaccines, offers for an investment opportunity in the Pfizer vaccine, or fake surveys related to vaccines that offer prizes for early access. Now, we've mentioned phishing earlier on. Scammers pretend to be from a government agency providing information on COVID-19 through text messages and email phishing for your information. So what they're looking for here is your personal information, your banking details, tax file number, anything that will help them identify you, because what they're looking for is to build up a number of pieces of information by which they can use your identity as a fraud. Next one is attempting to gain your personal information. Firstly, through hacking. Now, hacking occurs when a scammer gains access to your personal information by using technology to break into your computer or mobile device or network. Identity theft, as I mentioned just a moment ago, is a type of fraud that involves using someone else's identity to steal money or gain other benefits. Attempts to gain your personal information through phishing. Scammers try to trick you into giving out personal information, such as your bank account numbers, passwords, and credit card numbers. Then there's the remote access scam, where scammers try to convince you that you have a computer or internet problem. Scammers will often ask you to turn on your computer to fix a problem or install a free upgrade, which is actually a virus which will give them access to your passwords and personal details. Online shopping scams. Scammers use the latest technology to set up fake retail websites that look like the genuine online retail stores. They may use sophisticated designs and layouts, possibly stolen logos, and even a .com.au domain name and a stolen Australian business number. Many of these websites offer luxury items such as popular brands of clothing, jewellery, and electronics at very low prices. Further, sometimes you'll receive an item you paid for, but they will be fake. Other times you will not receive anything at all. The biggest tip-off that a retail website is a scam is the method of payment. Scammers will often ask you to pay using a money order, preloaded money card, or wire transfer. But if you send your money this way, it's unlikely you'll ever see the money or receive any purchases. Fake charities. Scammers will try to take advantage of the generosity and compassion for others in need. Scammers will steal your money by posing as a genuine charity and divert much needed donations away from legitimate causes. Following natural disasters, scammers will contact victims via phone, text, email, or even in person. Scammers may claim to be relatives of people affected by hardship. Be careful about crowdfunding requests, as these may be fake and also come from scammers. Threats of arrest. These scams use threats designed to frighten you into handing over your money. The scammer may call you and pressure you into paying immediately, threaten you with arrest, or say they will send the police to your house if you refuse. In a similar scam, victims will be contacted over the phone by a scammer pretending to be from the Australian Taxation Office. The scammer will demand payment of an outstanding tax debt and threaten arrest or legal action if you don't comply. As I said earlier on, I've even heard of people who fall for the scam who don't even put in a tax return. Investment scams involve getting you to part with the money, your money, on the promise of a questionable financial opportunity. You receive a call or repeated calls from someone offering unsolicited advice on investments. They may try to keep you on the phone for a long time or transfer you to a more senior person. You are told that you need to act quickly and the investment you'll miss out. Unexpected money. Inheritance scams. These scams offer you the false promise of an inheritance to trick you into parting with your money or sharing your bank or credit card details. Nigerian scams involve someone overseas offering you a share in a large sum of money or a payment on the condition that you help them transfer the money out of the country. These scams originally originated in Nigeria, but they now come from all over the world. More on unexpected money, the rebate scam. The scammer approaches you with a false claim that you're entitled to a reimbursement or rebate, such as for overpaid taxes, bank fees, or some sort of compensation. The contact may come by mail, telephone, email, text message, or social media, and they will ask for your bank account details to transfer the money due to you. Car advertisement scams. Now, you've probably heard that new cars are quite scarce because of the shortage of computer chips, amongst other things, and that's made second-hand cars very scarce as well. So the vehicle scam is the scammers will post a fake online listing offering to sell in-demand cars at well below market value to lure potential buyers looking for a second-hand vehicle. Scammers seek payment to secure the car for the buyer, but never deliver the vehicle. Vehicle scams are commonly hosted on sites such as Facebook, Marketplace, Auto Trader, Car Sales, Cars Guide, and Gumtree. Sometimes the scammer will replicate a genuine seller's advertisement and just change the price and contact details. So even if you do all the right vehicle checks, such as the vehicle identification number, it may seem to you that the car actually exists. The seller will usually provide a very realistic reason why the vehicle is being sold at below market price. For example, the scammer may claim that they are travelling or moving away suddenly and they need the cash urgently. By attaching urgency to it, the seller aims to rush the potential buyer into paying for the vehicle without actually seeing it. So know who you're dealing with. If you're unsure about the legitimacy of a business, take some time to do a bit of research. Do a Google search for other people who have had dealings with this particular company. Check the Australian business number. All businesses have a and the business you're about to deal with has a contact us facility. If a message or email comes from a friend and it seems unusual or out of character for them, contact your friend directly by using a different communication method to check that it really was them. So in other words, if you get an email that looks terribly strange, don't reply to that email, use a different form, like pick up the telephone. Check the security settings on your internet service provider and your email manager. Now on the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see the facility that Outlook provides. It's an email manager, and it allows you to change the security settings that will help you identify emails that might be dodgy. So in other words, what it does, it filters the emails and puts anything that it thinks might be injurious into your junk file. So here's an email in question. Now, this comes from a friend of mine who's on this Zoom presentation, and I know for a fact that that is not his email address. So that's a bit of a dead giveaway straight away. So if you get an email from somebody purporting to be genuine and it has a very much wrong email address, you can consider that that is some kind of a virus or something that's trying to get implanted in your computer. Keep your personal details secure. Now, whilst this isn't an online issue, it's a good idea to put a lock on your mailbox and shred your bills and other important documents before recycling. Keep your passwords and personal information number in a safe place. Be very careful about how much personal information you share on social media sites. Scammers can use your information and pictures to create a false identity or to target you with a scam. Beware of any requests for your identity, details, or money. Never send money or give credit card details online, account details, or copies of personal documents to anyone you don't know or trust. Don't agree to transfer money to someone else. It's money laundering and it's a criminal offence. Be wary of unusual payment requests. Scammers will often ask you to use an unusual payment method, including preloaded debit cards, gift cards, iTunes cards, or virtual currency like Bitcoin. Now, I've included this screen about Bitcoin, which is a cryptocurrency, and I'll leave you hopefully to read that on the AvPal's website later. Be careful when shopping online. Beware of offers that seem too good to be true. Always use an online shopping service that you know and trust. Always use PayPal or a credit card. Never use a debit card. So what does the padlock and shield symbol on the corner of my screen mean? Now you see in the little box down the bottom of the screen at the left-hand end, there's a little shield and a little padlock. Now what they mean is that the padlock is there to advise users of the website's coding and security, but it cannot be relied on completely. The trust seal, the little shield, means that the payment and brand are legitimate. For extra peace of mind, please ensure that the web address that appears on the internet bar has HTTPS. The S means that you're on a secure web page. Spam messages. Spam messages are unwanted emails that usually are sent to a lot of people. They can sometimes have harmful links in them, so it's best avoided open. These links could damage your device or let someone else see your private information. Unknown senders. The spam message will be easy to spot. It may come from an email address you don't recognise and might have a subject that doesn't make sense or uses poor English. You can get spam messages from all sorts of people. Sometimes a spam message might say it's from your bank or retailer, but that doesn't necessarily mean it is. If in doubt about who a message is from, it's best not to reply. Now, this is a good tip to hover over a link, but don't click on it. Scammers cannot use a real email nor a real website for their scams. They set up a link somewhere and hope you don't check. So to check, if you hover your mouse over the link and look at the web address that is shown in your web browser. If you hover over a supposed PayPal link, for instance, and you don't see paypal.com in the web address, it's very likely a fake. The link will usually start with HTTP or HTTPS. The S stands for secure, as in the Avalon AvPal site. Hyperlink scams. On a personal computer or desktop, hover over the suspected link before clicking on it. So you'll see in the center of the screen, the little pointer is hovering over that click this link. And underneath that, you'll see what this link is. It's www.macromedia.com/support/documentation, etc. So that tells you where that email originated. And if it's not as you think, just delete it. On a mobile device, long press on the link to reveal the URL it's actually sending you. You may get messages that ask you to open an attachment. Be careful, some might be harmful. So this particular one is a screenshot of an email from Avalon Computer Pals, so those attachments could be trusted. Now here's an email that we got purporting to come from Woolworths. Now it's quite interesting. If you have a look at the from address, does this look like a Woolworths email address? Not like KFGICF@50, and so on. Also, your name came up for a Woolworths customer gift. You can see there that there's a mixture of uppercase and lowercase letters, and it looks like a dog's breakfast. Also, we have a surprise for Woolworths shoppers. Now, I've said there, surprise would be more like a terrible shock for anybody who clicks on that link. Down the bottom, you'll see the unsubscribe button. Don't do it. It'll just confirm that this has gone to a real email, and even if you click on that unsubscribe, it might download something injurious into your computer or your device. This is the genuine Woolworths website, to give you an idea of how different it looks. This is another one that purports to have come from Telstra. This is very interesting too, because when you look at the email from which it's come, it's actually come from Gmail. Now, can you imagine Telstra using Gmail? I certainly can't. It's also terrible English. It's time to get your prize, dear. Here is a fake that's come, or purporting to have come from Telstra. Again, the sender has used Gmail, which is a dead giveaway. They have done an admirable job in stealing Telstra's logo, however, and it's best to just delete those things. I've been saving these up so that I could show you some of these in this presentation. Here is one that came the other day purporting to have come from the Genealogist, which is an English company, saying that my McAfee virus scam is about to expire and I need to renew it. Again, a scam. Let's have a look at unwanted messages. Sometimes you might receive emails that aren't spam, but are still annoying. When you use your email address to do some online shopping and you get a lot of emails from the trader, you may decide to leave their mailing address. So what you do is unsubscribe from their message. You scroll to the bottom of the email and there will be a facility for you to unsubscribe. Some lists may ask you for a reason that you're leaving, and you can choose from the options they give you. So here is if you wanted, and hopefully you're not going to unsubscribe from the Advertisement mailing list. Public Wi-Fi is best avoided. The Northern Beaches Council offers free Wi-Fi in many public spaces, along with coffee shops, hotels, shopping centres, bookstores, and random retail outlets. All provide customers with free Wi-Fi. It's a convenient way to check your emails and catch up on social networking or surf the web, but you have to bear in mind that cyber criminals will often spy on public Wi-Fi networks and intercept data that is transferred across the link. In this way, the criminal can access users' banking credentials, account passwords, and other valuable information if you access those accounts. Now, some things that I would suggest you have a look at. One of them is the Little Black Book of Scams. There's a live link at the bottom of the screen. This will be up on the AvPals website later today or tonight, and you can click on that and read a PDF version of this booklet. You can also request a hard copy if you don't want an electronic copy, but the electronic copy is very, very good. It's a well worth little booklet to get and have a read. Also, just recently, Choice, which is the Australian Consumers Association, published a piece in their magazine Choice, and I've given you the live link to that at the bottom of the page as well. Worthwhile having a read. So I said at the beginning, if you don't take anything else away from this presentation today, you're strongly encouraged to subscribe to Scam Alert emails. So again, at the bottom of the page is the Scamwatch hot link. If you click on that, you'll be taken to the ACCC's site, Scamwatch, where you can register to get regular email alerts of new scams that are coming up. So if you've not done so already, book now for the Avalon Computer Power Zoom session on securing your device and strong passwords. This will be in 2 weeks' time. We're going to look at how to secure your device, weak passwords to avoid, how to measure the strength of your existing passwords, and how to make strong passwords which are easy to remember. So remember, from later on today, if you go onto the Avalon the AvPals website and you click on where the yellow arrow is on course notes, you'll find that this presentation will be there and you can watch it again, and you can click on the hot links to go to the various suggested reading that I've given you. So any questions, please?
Lee, can you hear me?
Yes, Beverly?
I can.
It's Heather.
Oh, sorry.
Heather, I've just joined AvPals, but I haven't been able to have a lesson yet because of the problems. But I just wanted to ask you if you get emails from a reputable website, like I can't remember the name of it now, but this was a shop here locally that sells all products like, you know, sinks and stoves and all those sort of products.
Yep.
And we bought things for our new kitchen, but then afterwards we keep on getting emails all the time, and it doesn't have an unsubscribe thing on it. So how can I stop those?
Have you scrolled right to the very bottom of the email?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Do you have telephone access to these people?
Oh, yes, yes.
I would ring them up and ask to speak to somebody in their advertising and promotion department, and ask them to take your email address off their list. I'm really surprised that they haven't got an unsubscribe at the bottom of the page. But if you've looked and it's not there, I'd suggest trying the telephone.
Yes, oh, good. Thank you.
I found quite often that unsubscribe button is very, very hard to find. They'll put it in the smallest print towards the end, tuck it in a way, and you go through it and you think, well, I've been through it, it's not there. And you go over and over, then you look for the most unlikely spot. And occasionally it's not there, but mostly it is. Just being very cheap.
As you say quite correctly, they put it in the tiniest little print imaginable, right down the bottom, where they hope you can't find it.
Oh, well, I'll have another look and see. Yes.
Lee, there's a question there from Janet Williams, who's got her hand up.
Yes, Jan.
Janet, unmute. We can't hear you, Janet. Can you unmute? Click the little microphones in. That's it.
I received an email which I knew was a scam. If I wanted to only print it but not open it, can that be done? Or by printing it, you are opening it indirectly?
No, you're not opening it indirectly if you print it. Those ones that I've shown you on this presentation were actually what's called screenshots, where I use a facility within the computer to
Yes.
take a photograph, as it were, from what's on the screen.
Alt print screen, yeah, I've done that.
To the best of my knowledge, it couldn't damage your computer in any which way.
No, thank you.
Is it my turn now?
Yes, Beverly.
Thank you. I was going to ask how you can hover over a link on an iPhone, like Barbara, who's staying at my place in this COVID lockdown. I only have an iPhone. And then in the next point, you said on mobiles, long press on URL.
Yeah, long press. I'm not an expert on these, but to the best of my knowledge, you long press in the middle of the screen, and it will bring the URL up so that you can see who has sent you the email.
And what's URL mean?
Oh, now you've got.
It doesn't matter then. It
One of the
doesn't
other
matter.
trainers might be able to decipher that for you.
That doesn't matter if it's not relevant. That's how we find out.
Yes, Jan. You're muted. Jan, there you go.
Right. I did send Peter an email. I keep receiving texts telling me I have a phone message that are trying to lead me to a website. Every day I seem to get them, sometimes multiples, all to different websites, and I'm sure it's a scam of some sort.
Sounds like it.
My little yellow hand kept disappearing.
Yeah, it's okay. No, I can hear you.
Good.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like a scam to me. I wonder if there's some facility within your telephone that you might be able to put a block on these. But as you say, if each one is coming from a different place, it's going to be a little bit bothersome. But certainly, if you're getting a number of things and you think they're suspicious, just deleting them is the best thing.
No, after her.
Right. Thank you.
Hey, Mrs. Fleur, I had a question for you.
Yes, thank you.
Hello. Actually, it's Jane King. It's my husband, Jonathan.
Thanks for a fabulous and very timely presentation.
Okay, thank you.
And I wondered, how can we stop getting unwanted phone calls on our mobile and our home line from people normally in the Philippines, saying our computer's about to crash and we need to switch it on so they can help us.
Yes, regrettably, overseas phone calls you cannot block. You can certainly contact the do not call register for any Australian telephone numbers. What these cunning devils usually do, of course, is they route their telephone number through a local number. So when you see it, you think it is a local number. But in actual fact, it's coming from overseas. And as I say, there's nothing we can do about those. In some cases, your telephone company will make it more difficult for these scammers to contact you. But offshore phone calls, we can't block in this country, unfortunately.
Can I
Thanks
make
very
a,
much.
can,
Thank
can I
you.
make a comment on that?
Sure.
When I did have a landline, if I would say hello, if there was no response within 3 seconds, I'd hang up.
Yes.
And if somebody really wanted, they would ring me on my mobile.
Yes, that's right. Yes,
So-
good.
Thank you. Very good.
A good comment, because pretty well all of these calls that are coming in from overseas do have a slight delay.
Yes.
And as you say, that's a bit of a giveaway. So if they
And
don't-
also on our iPhone, if you don't know the number and it doesn't come up with, one number, a name from your contact list, hang up. Don't answer it.
Yeah.
Don't answer it. And they will never leave a message. If
Oh,
it's
no.
someone you know, they will leave you a message and then you can call them back.
Yes, you can also employ a strategy that a friend of ours who's a bit of a character, because these people will often say to you, hello, and they quite often will know you by name. How are you today? And you say, oh, look, I've been waiting all day for somebody to ask me that. Okay, I've got a hand up from Beverly. Do you have another question, Beverly?
Yes, seeing though this is a talk on scams, I was a little bit surprised at the start of this. This thing came up on my screen saying, you need to consent to have your thing recorded, otherwise exit.
Yeah,
And
that was actually-
then it
that
had
was-
got it.
That
And
was-
like you have got that is it?
Yeah, that was Jim setting this the recording up for this presentation. So what happened
very
is
good.
this presentation up to the question section was recorded, and it was
Excellent,
put
yeah.
up on the AVPAL site for people to access later.
Right.